Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you very much for spending your time to join us here at OKI World 2024. We'll now start the opening talk and introduction. Welcome to OKI World 2024, for the world, for the future, and for you. And main session 1, ideas alone are not enough. How to bring about innovation connecting into social implementation. I myself, I'll be serving as so now I'd like to start the opening talk and introduction. OKI World 2024, for the world, for the future, and for you. We'd now like to invite President Mori and the OKI staffs on stage. And once again, we'd like to welcome you all. First, as a facilitator, we have from OKI Business Development Department, Global Marketing Center, Mr. Shintaro Kawamura. And next, panelists, OKI Electric Industry Company Limited CEO, Mr. Takahiro Mori. And next, from OKI Electric Industry, Global Marketing Center Device Application Team, CFB, Ms. Sae Hosoya. And next, from OKI Electric Industry, Photonics R&D Department, R&D Center, Technology Division, Mr. Dr. Kengo Koizumi. And from OKI Electric Industry Company Limited, Logistics and Regional DX Team, Business Development Department, Innovation Business Development Center, Mr. Kei Gawasawa. Welcome, everyone. And from here and after, I would like to ask Mr. Kawamura to take over. Please. Everyone, please sit down. Take your seat. First of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us at the OKI World 2024. OKI, 7 years ago, has started the Yume Pro innovation activity. It has entered into the full swing, and from its inception, they have been focused on full participation innovation. And various initiatives have been taken, and now they are in the practical stage of actual implementation. But the existing business, the company has been focused on the existing business and domestic market. And now we have the challengers we here on stage. He'll be able to share with us the candid opinion about OKI. First of all, Mori-san, can you talk about OKI's innovation and what is the thinking behind the innovation activities? First of all, welcome everyone and good morning. I really thank you very much for sparing time to join us here today at this event. Well, I was supposed to start with a keynote, but I was wondering, well, you might be wondering why we changed the design of this session. So let me give an explanation here. Well, I myself, it's my 3rd year as president, and well, as was said, whenever I have this kind of event, I have given a keynote address twice. But I think our guests and audience are getting bored, and I myself, to be very honest with you, well, I'm running out of things to talk about. I don't think I can impress you by talking about exciting things anymore. I don't have anything in stock. And there I was thinking about something I could come up with, and I thought of this type of event where we talk together like this. Well, ever since I became president, we have been focused on full participation innovation to transform our company. And this is designed and positioned as a driver for growth. But the more we do these things, the more we start to see challenges. And so I really searching in the dark. But the thinking on the management side and the thinking of the staffs in the field, they tend to be quite different. There's a gap. And therefore, rather than the management talking about what should be done, I think it's important to listen to the voices of people who are actually doing the work, hands-on work. And therefore, I think it would be better for you to listen to what they have to say. And so OKI is an old company, and we have been very serious doing our work. But still, I think new things are not emerging. OKI is a typical Japanese company. We are a very traditional company. And I want you to understand what sort of a struggle we are going through to make our company more innovative. I think that we would like to share this with you, and I hope that you will come to understand some of these struggles, challenges that we're facing. Thank you. So we'll be hearing about the real talk. Thank you. Well, and when you became president, you talked about the management challenges and the full participation and innovation activities. But how? What are your thoughts now about these activities? Well, yes, and to be very honest with you, I have spent little time at the head office, and I've spent most of my career at subsidiaries. I think 80% of my time at OKI has been spent at subsidiaries. And 1 year before becoming president, I was transferred from a subsidiary to the head office here. And what I felt then was that the company has a very conservative culture. That was the impression that I got. And I thought that we needed to do something new, but we had to begin with changing this culture. Well, the way of work, I've observed the way of work for about 2 years, and there are good aspects, I must admit, but people want to be on the safe side. And so they are not really motivated to try to grow. That is the thinking. And also, as a result, what people are doing, they tend to be focused more on the existing business. And what's more, they are doing most of the work in the domestic market. And therefore, I thought that we had to change this. If not, we will not be able to make OKI a company of growth and create more growth. To give you an example, and I like history. And so, if I may say so, well, at the end of the Edo period, well, it was like this. I think Japan had closed its doors for a long period of time, and they were all trying to do things within the closed border. But we have to change this. We have to open up our doors so that we can think about ourselves in the global platform. And that was the reason why Meiji Restoration type of a reform or transformation is what I want to realize. If then we can change from a defensive management to a more offensive management. So several years before I became president, this full participation innovation activity began, and I thought that this might be an engine for change. And I've been making some alterations, changes, and coming out with ideas to create new values. This is the thinking behind this. Okay. The next slide, please. Well, this talks about the full participation innovation. I've tried to make it easier to understand. ISO 56001, an innovation management system. Well, this is being incorporated into OKI's management system. And in order to do so, there are several elements that are listed on the right-hand side. Well, as a culture, the management is trying to face-to-face communicate this cultural reform, and the president himself is talking directly with the employees. And the employees, too, have an opportunity to implement and practice this new thinking. And to accelerate this, there are assistants, and there are training, hands-on training. And in order to do this, the top management commitment is necessary. Now, so these activities have been ongoing for 7 years. And Mori-san, well, these types of activities, what are your thoughts? Well, Well, what was just explained, this is something that people take for granted. It's nothing new. But in order to do innovation, you have to do the basic things. Well, the source of innovation, it comes from different places, but the mindset of the employees have to change first. And that is the fundamental thing that you need to do. Now, the full participation innovation, well, this might be a word that you're not familiar with, and you might wonder what kind of innovation we're trying to create here. It might be sounding like there's one or few geniuses who would lead the work, but this, in a typical Japanese company, is difficult to do. And therefore, instead, we're doing the full participation innovation. Each and every employee is trying to create innovation, create value, and they are at the center and leading this initiative. That's important to give ownership. And if that is the case, then I think, Japanese companies tend to be a group of people who are more or less the same. But I think that this type of approach is fit for Japanese. Well, it's difficult, but still, we are seriously trying to do this. Well, to give an analogy, so it's like mundane people trying to show their performance in the a routine type of work. And I am trying to make this happen. And that is the type of innovation I'm trying to bring about here at our company. Thank you, Mori-san. I think that we've come to understand very well your thinking. And you said that you are trying to change from a conservative to offensive management, opening up the doors so as to grow as a company. And you're challenging this right now. Okay. Then let us proceed and have a discussion with the participants here on stage. But before we go into that, I would like all of you to introduce yourselves. Koizumi-san, can you begin? Well, once again, I am Koizumi from Technology Division. Thank you. Well, just a brief self-introduction. I joined OKI when I was 30. And before that, I had been at university doing research as an intern. But from there, I tried to materialize what I had been researching, and that is the reason why I joined OKI Electric Industry. Well, today, the reason why I'm taking part in this talk is because in front of Mori-san, I want to talk about global and innovation. I want to be very open and say these things because people from outside the company are listening. This is important. I mean, talking inside the company, yes, there are many such opportunities, but it's rare for me to be able to talk with people who are coming from outside the company. Thank you. That was my brief introduction.
Thank you very much. Next, Kawasawa-san, please. I'm Kei Kawasawa. Well, I'm in the Innovation Business Development Center, and I'm in charge of the DX. Actually, OKI is my third company to work for. And consistently, I've been involved in the creation of the new services of the logistics. This is the area I'm interested in. However, the difficulty is to get money for the improvement of the logistics. So I hope OKI will give me the chance to realize this. Thank you very much. Hosoya-san, please. Hello, I'm Hosoya. Currently, I belong to Global Marketing Center, specifically CFB Development Department. However, I started as a domestic sales for the first 3 years in Nagoya. I was in a branch over there, and I did sales toward the manufacturing and other customers around. And I was focusing on Japan market, but I raised my hand to be the candidate for the global business, and that was successfully accepted. And so now I'm in CFB Development Department. I'm so glad that I'm here now. Thank you. Okay, so President Murray, there are so many varieties of people involved in these innovation activities, and there are many talents we would like to enjoy today. And just a story behind. Last night, we had good drinking party, and we had an excited conversations over there. So maybe we can refer to that today. So Mr. Gawasawa, you talked about your interest in logistics, and you are visiting overseas markets. So would you please share with us what you are doing now? Actually, up till last year, it was just my side job to see the market situations overseas. So on the other hand, I communicated with local people overseas, and I tried to communicate our intention. However, this year, the total mode was totally changed. Direct visit was encouraged to all these overseas markets and overseas customers to see myself what sort of processes are there, what sort of businesses are there, what sort of challenges are there. I need to go into all these local areas of overseas markets. And right now I'm doing activities in Thailand, and I think we've already started the new phase in a sense. Well, it's been a little more than 1 year since you came to OKI. That's right. And now I'm very much involved in OKI's overseas activities. Wow, that's a very good change. Because in the past, we always thought about domestic market. And the Yume Pro Idea Contest was focusing on technologies within Japan. But even if we had very nice ideas through that contest, if the market is limited in Japan, there's no chance for us to expand that wonderful new idea into the global deployment. So why not? I repeatedly told my employees that we need to have a wider perspective going to the global markets. Have you noticed something? Yes, together with overseas members. Well, actually, with me, it was their first time to visit their customer's warehouse. So, okay, that customer I knew for a long time, but I didn't go to the warehouse myself, so I didn't know how they managed the warehouse, what sort of operations were done over there. So, even the local people learned a lot together with me. So, it was a big move. Of course, just by reading and hearing is not enough. We need to go and experience. And the more experiences, the better. Yes, I agree. Thank you. And then, Hosoya-san, last month you moved to this department. Would you please share with me how you moved? Actually, I always raised my hand myself because I was interested in global things, and I could speak English, but that was not good enough. But I'm now in charge of CFB. This is the semiconductors technology that the different materials could be bonded with a special technology in the semiconductor. That means even though I have no technical background, I was assigned here. So now I need to learn from it. And so clean room is provided for CFB. So together with the engineers, I'm in the department to learn more about technical crystal film bonding technology in the semiconductor industry. President Mori, so she volunteered herself. Yes, it's quite new in OKI because she was recruited as a sales person, and so she was put in a branch office in Japan. It was a very classic sort of a career path, and it is, of course, very important. However, if you just continue doing that, her potential couldn't be exerted fully, unfortunately. And actually, she was in Brunei during the school days. It was such a unique experience. So she's tough. She has lots of potentials, I believe. Therefore, and she knew that she had such potentials. So she raised herself. And CFB development, nobody understands what it is usually, but this is a very advanced technology for us, and the know-how and the technology are all within us. And she is very fluent in foreign language, but technologically she's now learning, and by learning such things, she could actually exert another potential for OKI. So I'm very glad she raised the hand. But of course, the path is not easy. It's quite challenging, I believe. But the destination is bright. I think exciting things are waiting for you. Thank you very much. So, Koizumi-san, you went to Europe recently. Would you please share with us your story? Yes, I was ordered instead of went there myself to Germany to establish the base of OKI in Germany to do some business over there. And I'm very prudent, and I wanted to have more researches here in Japan about Germany and Europe. But then I was ordered, just go immediately. And so I went there. And so over there in Germany, we needed to communicate with relevant stakeholders over there. And they guided me to many interesting places around the ecosystem and so on. So without any official appointment, we visited all these interesting organizations and interesting processes in Germany. It was very agile and flexible visits. And such visits gave me the learning about how the contract or agreements were made and formulated. So I learned a lot in a very efficient way by visiting them. Thank you. Actually, last night, we had dinner together, and you told me, well, actually, Mr. Koizumi, was in R&D, and he thought that the R&D technologies could be advanced just within the laboratory in Japan because of the background Dr. Koizumi has had. So his focus was Japan, but I pushed his back to go out of Japan. And then he experienced something he didn't see in Japan, in overseas. So from each one of you, such a direct visit of Dr. Koizumi to Germany would be a small step. But this is very important. Organization needs to give such opportunity to each individual. And then each individual employee could be released from the traditional, conventional sort of a binding boundaries. So the most important thing is the competency and the talent of employees, I believe. And I don't think currently I could allow or enable them to exert 100% of the potentials of all the employees. And this is my responsibility as a president. So I try to give many unprecedented opportunities or the experiences to my employees. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this mood environment of challenging, I think we are starting to see this emerge. And thank you, Mori-san. We would have loved to have heard more from the panelists, but it's time for us to finish up. So lastly, Mori-san, and can you deliver a closing message to the audience? Well, I would have loved to have talked for another hour, but I'm sure I'll be boring you. So I should stop around now. But I really apologize for the very uninteresting talk that I gave, but I think you've come to understand the management way of thinking and also the people in the field's mindset towards innovation. And from here and after, our panelists will be talking about how to create innovation and the technology which will drive innovation. So this is the opening, and I hope that you come to understand the mood at OKI. And if you can stay with us, then if you listen to the other session, you'll get a holistic view of what OKI is doing. And at the same time, we have exhibitions. Well, there isn't much concept, but we're just displaying what OKI is doing right now. We have our strengths, and based on our strengths, we are stretching and doing our best to come up with solutions. I hope, this is the dawn for OKI in terms of innovation. I hope that you'll observe the displays. And if you find something interesting, please do approach us because we'd love to do business with all of you. I hope that this will be such an opportunity for all of you. Thank you. Mori-san and Hosoya-san and Koizumi-san and Gawasawa-san, and thank you very much. And with this, we would like to end the opening talk and introduction. Please step down from the stage. Once again, thank you very much. Mr. Mori and Hosoya-san, Koizumi-san, Gawasawa-san, and the facilitator Kawamura-san, thank you very much. Please step down from the stage.
以上でオープニングトーク So that's all about the opening part and the introduction part. Thank you very much for your attention. Now, we would like to continue here to the main session 1. Idea is not enough. We need to know how to generate innovation to connect and lead to the social implementation. Please wait to be ready for the next session. Now, we would like to start. The title, Idea is not enough. We need to know how to generate innovation which leads to social implementation. First, we would like to start with main session 1. Many companies try to generate a new business, but one new business would not last, and the commercialization is still challenging. These are the issues faced by them. So in order to continue generating innovation and lead to the actual social implementation and deployment was experienced by some of the cases of OKI. So first I would like to introduce Executive Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, Chief Digital Officer, Innovation Business Development Center Head, Mr. Yuhiko Fujiwara. Mr. Fujiwara, please come up to the stage. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm Fujiwara from OKI. Today, thank you very much for coming to OKI World 2024. I'm so glad to see so many people participating in this session. So today, the main session 1, that is, idea is not enough. We need to know how to generate innovation which leads to social deployment. And there are 2 main points here. The first one, I would like to talk about 15 minutes to talk about how to generate innovation. And then, currently in OKI, what sort of progress we experience in terms of innovation in OKI. And there are 2 special guests today, so I would like to welcome them later to have some specific themes to discuss. So totally 15 minutes or more so in this session. Please feel relaxed and just enjoy what's going on. So I would like to start. So there are 3 points I would like to talk about. First of all, how to generate innovation. So how to generate innovation. But before talking about it, just think about that Japan's position globally. This is a competitiveness ranking. Have you seen this chart? This is the latest version. And currently, when you see the competitiveness worldwide, we are 38th. And within them, business related. Well, there are many measurements, metrics. We are below 50th. DX is even lower than that. So it's such an unfortunate, regrettable ranking of Japan. And year by year, Japan's position have been degraded. So under such circumstances, how could we lead to the actual social deployment or the implementation? So in order to think about the path, 6.5 years ago, I started to be dedicated to innovation. And recently, this is one word I came as a conclusion. Well, nowadays, society is very convenient and safe. So there's no hunger in the market to have something. Because in the past, companies could just suggest something and consumers are ready to buy, but not anymore. So market out is necessary based on design thinking. And market out will be elaborated in the later panel session. So customer-oriented business means that you have to visit customers to listen to their voices. Otherwise, you cannot come up with a new business. And I think all of you can share the same feeling. So we believe that the actual fields and sites are more and more important. And as President Mori mentioned in the previous session, ISO 56001, actually September 10th, ISO actually certified this. And this is a guide. It was a guidance standard in 2019. But even before 2019, we were focusing on this ISO 56001 because of the sense of crisis felt by the management of OKI. Because in the past, we were blessed with wonderful customers and many good financial institutions and also government-related agencies. They told me many things, and they wanted OKI to come up with products, and we just offered what they wanted. However, nowadays environment has been drastically changed, so there's no specific demand or order from the customer about the new products and services. So OKI needed to change our business model. That means not passively waiting for the voices of customers. We needed to change the culture. We needed to change the structure of the company. And the pattern of the innovation is very important. Such pattern or the framework is necessary to promote innovation within the organization. New idea with the old management means no sales. New idea with old management means no sales. As far as there's obsolete old management at the top, you can expect nothing, even though you have just good ideas of new business. In OKI, we are talking about full participation, as mentioned before. So improve the conventional business processes to search for the new businesses. Full participation of employees was the base. So leadership of the top management and the good education and support. So commitment of the top management, President Mori, was very solid. Even though there were resistance within the organization, the top never surrenders to these resistance. That is very important. Another point I would like to share with you is the Yume Pro process. Actually, based on the innovation management system, do you know business model canvas, BMC? Okay, 10% of you are familiar with this, it seems. Business model canvas is to create new business. And this is one of the tools. However, how the thought behind is very important. When you look at this, there are 9 boxes, and the Japanese love to fill in all these boxes, but that's not the way to use tools. There's an order where to fill first. First, from the customer, means what are the pain points of the customers? What kind of value would be appreciated by the customer? And then next is how. That is a method. So the technological people and the R&D should be involved. However, usually OKI and other Japanese typical companies start with the development within themselves and then offer products and services afterwards to the market. And then they find out that there's not enough needs in the market and fail. And actually, OKI faced many failures in the past. Therefore, we need to have a full customer-focused, customer-oriented approach. So I think the winner is the one who successfully find out the real pain points of customers. So 2018, we started to have a Yume Pro Idea Contest. And the business model canvas was utilized. The first 2 years, only innovation team was involved. And, okay, you just do the innovation. You are in charge of innovation. We were in a small island in the organization. But then 2022 and so on, President Mori started to take initiative. And now we see some changes. 2020, our innovation division actually put the idea, and it was a champion. And the management was very happy, because they could feel the change in the culture. And then right now we have 400 ideas applied. And then if you have 400 new businesses, I think the actual commercialization would be less than 1% maybe. But still, we have this Yume Pro process, and there are 4 new areas we are focusing on. Well, Yume Pro challenge, well, this is the IMS process, and there are ideas. 2023, this was the semi-championship idea, and this is about the process, innovation process. And also that OKI's unique technologies are incorporated, and also the Gen AI system is included. Code name was Da Vinci. So there's a hypothesis idea, and then with the communication with the Gen AI, it could polish and mature the idea. So there's also idea coming up through the chat with the Gen AI, and then bring that idea to the customer. So human and machine, that means AI, could be merged to have even better, more potential ideas. Gen AI's development have been very rapid, and 1 year, 2 years cannot be tolerated in terms of the new business creation. So I hope that all the people should be able to use this system with Gen AI from OKI as a package within 1 or 2 years, within next year. So next, there's a Innovation Strategy 2025 we formulated as a midterm plan. And as you see, there are some untapped areas or the domains where OKI was not entering in the past, but social infrastructure, the real-time data processing was a sort of inherent technologies OKI had. And we wanted to target 100 billion yen as global sales in 2031. But the base is an innovation management system. And this is a very important perspective. Recently, for the 1 or 2 years since, the vertical axis is the clarity of the customer value, and the horizontal axis is the sales. So IMS Yume Pro process is put in the vertical axis. So when you talk about one hypothesis, there's an empathy, that is level number 1. Level number 2 is co-creation. And when you think about the product out process, they are saying, okay, oh, that's a good idea. But at the time of the purchase, they say, no, we don't want to pay something to buy that. So if you want to go to the right-hand side, more sales at the early stage in the vertical axis, you cannot succeed. So you have to visit your customer 3 times more to have the first empathy level and the co-creation level in a vertical sense to have the larger sales. Otherwise, all the progress would be stuck. Therefore, there's a business approach to OKI. You see, these are the plotted actual things, and the left-hand side is the current time, and toward the right-hand side, we try to scale up. And clarity is different. For the logistics, we already actually go involved more in the customer's place, and the OKI person is in the passenger seat of the truck driver in the logistic warehouse to have the clarity about the values they really want. So such vertical axis enhancement is very important. So I would like to share with you some cases now. And I know that you should visit the exhibition hall behind this hall to see many cases. This is about the high-level remote promotion. It's a robot and human collaboration. And there's a shortage of the labor, and there are sensors all around nowadays. So a person doesn't have to go there physically. There are varieties of robots coming and also varieties of sensors offered in the market by many companies, not only in Japan. APAC, also, I'm talking about that APAC markets as a target. The second part is logistics and about the route optimization, and you can have the weight of the delivery possible payload could be also optimized. And then in the warehouse, how you could pile up the parcels and boxes, you have to go into the field and the site. That means a warehouse in this case, because if there are so many boxes, they don't know where what is stored. But the simplest, low-cost DX could help all these pain points of the customers. So in Japan, there are many pain points we find. And then these pain points are not Japan-specific, we find out. Of course, the same challenges were faced by other people in the same industry. So we would like to deploy and expand our business globally. And the last domain is healthcare and Medicare. And I'm talking about behavior change service, Wellbit. There's an algorithm researched for a long time to change behaviors of the people by giving them the good message in a timely manner. So Wellbit Sleep, Kyoto University Sleep Insights was utilized. And also in office, you could use this. Employees could be better in health and enjoy well-being by having this Wellbit. And this was also commercialized already. So in the end, this is a summary. As I already told you, you have to go into the field. You have to go to the sites. And we have to have the high advanced network processing. And there should be a second point, common language, that is IMS as a framework. And then once you have a common language, and then you can have a co-creation opportunities globally. So IMS sharing platform, co-creation platform will be created together with the Japan Innovation Network, JIN. And together with all of you coming here, I would like to promote this platform for creation of innovation in Japan. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Mr. Fujiwara. And next is ideas alone are not enough. How to bring about innovation connecting to social implementation. On this theme, we will welcome our guests to engage in a panel discussion. We are rearranging this stage. We ask for your indulgence. Now I'd like to invite our guests on stage. First, the facilitator, Yuhiko Fujiwara, Executive Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, Chief Digital Officer, Head of Innovation Business Development Center of OKI. And next, the panelists. Mr. Shintaro Kasai, Vice President, Digital Transformation Division, Enterprise Unit, SoftBank Corporation. And the other panelist is Mr. Minoru Moriya, Business Development Specialist. Thank you. And over to you, Mr. Fujiwara. Please take your seat. Thank you very much. Well, this is the main session part, and as I said earlier, today we have these special guests with us. And first, SoftBank, Mr. Kasai, and also the Business Development Specialist, Moriya-san, Mr. Moriya. Well, to think that these two people are here at the same time, at the same place, is incredible. I am praising myself for having organized this session. I think I did a good job. DX and new business innovation. Well, these are the topics, so please relax and enjoy yourself. And let us proceed. Well, first, allow me to introduce our two guests and their background, CV. Well, first, Mr. Shintaro Kasai. In 2003, he joined NTT, Nippon Telecom, now SoftBank Corporation, and in 2003, he served as manager of the sales department, sales management division, sales headquarters and corporate headquarters, and he's charged in sales, logistics, and finance. In October 2017, he assumed the position of general manager of the newly established digital transformation division. I know he's a very, very busy person. I really am grateful for him coming here today. I'd like him to share with us his aspiration for today. Aspiration? Wow. Okay. How do you do? I'm Kasai from SoftBank. As was introduced, I have an engineering background. I joined the company as an engineer, and then the company told me that I'm better fit for sales, so I was transferred to sales. But I'm enjoying my work every day. I do get to meet a lot of customers and partners, and they're taking very good care of me, and I enjoy doing my sales work. But then 2018, our company was planning to be listed, and so this saturating telecom telecom business as a growth strategy, we had to come up with something new so that we can come up with another pillar of business that will be aligned with or different from the telecommunication. And we started out in October 2017, and we were a toddler back then, and 7 years have passed. But in total, 2022-23 projects are starting to generate money, and 3 or 4 of them are doing relatively well. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Kasai. And next, Moriya-san. Well, a brief introduction of Moriya-san. Well, after working at Misumi, he founded M-Out, a company specializing in new business development with Misumi founder Mr. Taguchi. In 2010, he established a Moriya Minoru office. Well, he has been contributing to the acceleration of many startup companies. And he is also a member of the Cabinet Office's expert committee. He came here at 8 a.m. He was doing work here online, and he said that he could just spare this slot. Well, Ms. Moriya and myself, it's the 3rd year that we appear on stage together. And Mr. Moriya, he's always wearing a T-shirt. Well, it's getting a bit chilly, so you have a long sleeve. I have a T-shirt on me too. Would you like to take off your jacket? Well, no. I asked Kasai-san to wear white, but I guess that was not a very good idea, so we decided not to do it. But anyway, well, the 3 of us, yes, we tend to chat a lot. Well, yes. Yes, we have to think about social implementation, and we have to think of the practical aspects. Up until last year, we focused on the left-hand side. I talked about this with Moriya-san, but on the right, we want to go to the right-hand side and how to succeed new businesses. This is the focus of today's talk. Okay. Now, earlier, I in my lecture also talked about this, and I think this is a very important thinking. And the vertical axis, this shows the clarity of the business. We want to increase the clarity, plus, and from there, we want to have social implementation to increase the scale up, so to say. And so I'd like to talk about this with 2 of you. What are your perspectives? I want to discuss this with both of you. Okay, about increasing the clarity. Well, unless you increase clarity, you cannot sell. And there is this thinking of market out. Moriya-san came up with this expression, and it's in his book. But can you explain more about market out? Well, generally speaking, you have to do product out, market in. And that's what you learn in school, so to say. Yes, that's obvious. I mean, there was a time in which you just have to produce products, but that was not the case, and you have to come closer to the customer. But product out, market in. The arrow is facing the same direction, but in the old days that was okay, but things have advanced since then, and the customer's first choice is not to buy. That they can there are lots of things available, there are a lot of services offered, so they say this is enough, and so instead product out, market in, rather than that. So it should be market out, product in, and if you're going to spend money coming up with a product, it's better to come up with something that the customer is wanting. So this is the age where we're about to enter into this sort of world. And this is a concept that we're talking about, because we tend to think, because our company is at the center, at the end of the month, for example, there are people who are in trouble at the end of the month. What are they in trouble for? Because I haven't achieved my sales target this month. And so they're always thinking about me, not the customer. And this is a tendency that we see at companies. So no, you have to change the way of thinking. Market out, a product in. We have to think about that instead. And that is the reason why I came up with this term, market out. Okay, thank you very much. Market out. I'm sure you've come to understand this. So at OKI, in our manufacturing process, we were focused on the product, the technology. But Moriya-san, for 4.5 years, he has been providing us assistance in terms of acceleration, and Yume Pro has built up momentum thanks to him. And we want to get our employees to acquire this and learn about this and market out. What about SoftBank? Because we are a manufacturer. Manufacturers tend to think about technology, the products that we offer, but you are doing telecom and you're providing all sorts of services. So I think this might be obvious to you, or is it a challenge? Can you explain?
Okay, thank you. Actually, with the past or the history, we have not been the official government samurai, but actually straying samurai without any masters. Because in the field, we were just there trying to fight. So what we did was market out. To face customers have been thoroughly implemented. In a sense, the current project I talked about, well, Mr. Fujiwara, you talked about that OKI person is next to the driver of the truck in a warehouse. That is very good example. Well, actually, very not at all refined type of work. Well, you have to have a timer to measure how many seconds or minutes is required to pick up that parcel or so on. So we need to find the specific bottlenecks and the barriers. And actually in our department, we were in the domain of telecommunications within the industry. So new business of the industry, but instead we were different because we directly faced to the societal challenges or the social challenges. And not only the information from the media or the government is not enough. You have to walk to that place. And when you talk about the 2050, 2100, there will be less and less people. And Akita Prefecture is the number one prefecture suffering from the decrease of the population. So if we could solve some problem, then that solution could be the one of the most important solutions globally. It's not a joke. Actually, there's a heavy snowed country house as a satellite for us so that our employees experienced what sort of life they were obliged to spend. Otherwise, you would never know the pains of the local people. I'm sorry, I have to ask you. I talked to you about our OKI employee sitting next to the drivers of the truck. But in your case, your person is living in that country house under the heavy snow in Akita. Yes, of course, because if you stay in Tokyo, air conditioned, everything is there, services are available, and traffic network is well, and you can just touch here and there to get what they want. Well, you never understand the pains and the challenges. So you have to go to the site and experience what local people are doing. And actually, local people like Akita residents wouldn't accept the suggestion from a Tokyo person who never pays local tax in Akita prefecture. So you have to become the Akita resident and the taxpayer. And then your suggestion could be very convincing. Okay, next is about to enhance the clarity. Moriya-san, you've been telling me how important to enhance the clarity. Would you please elaborate on this about the importance? Well, it's not the method to enhance the clarity. Method number one, method number two, or the pattern is not important. What is important is your commitment, your motivation to increase the clarity. So a person in charge is very much committed. That's why he goes to Akita prefecture to live. that's why your employee goes to a person sitting next to the truck driver. So such commitment or the desire to enhance the clarity of the customer value, well, that is the most important. It's not just follow the manual, standard manual. You have to be out of that. And if you are sure about that, and then you could go as far as you like, I believe, if you want to do this. And then you ask to some people, I want to do this, but I cannot. What should I do? And then an appropriate person will give you more ideas. Yes, I'm always learning from you, Moriya-san. And also judgment to make commercialization and to make a viable business. And of course, motivation is very important. And the assigned person's quality is very important. So would you please share with me how you could judge? Well, we are facing the social issues. And then there's a Japanese social issues. We need to think about the impact, what kind of positive impact. But we are Japan is the number one country facing the some specific social issues. So first we have to give the solution to that Japanese issues. And 30% is based on this logic. But 70%, the remaining 70% comes from the commitment and the passion of the people in charge of this. In order to enhance clarity, they are doing their maximum. And you could just lose time if you push these already 100% involved people. And of course, these team people's eyes are so bright and so full of joy. But you see, you cannot quantify such things. Well, parameters could be set and manipulated to give you the good statistical results. But you have to start with a good motivation, and the good engine is the people's emotional attachment to that. That is a keyword. That is the... Wait, may I continue? Yes, when I talk about such things, the most important thing is that there should be a top people who could feel the high temperature, the emotion below. And if the top people are not sensitive enough, and then they cannot feel that these teams' works are important for the organization. So the top management needs to share the same emotion. Well, you've been seeing OKI for 4.5 years so far. What do you think about OKI so far? Because you are giving us many information and educations, and you know some of the people in the teams in OKI, and you know some of the management of OKI. What do you think? In the beginning, when you say full participation, I thought, full participation is impossible. But to challenge to such idea of full participation is great to begin with. And you are not saying it superficially. You really believe in that. That's why I decided to be an advisor. And when I talk to some of the people, they are saying, I want to deliver this product. Who? To whom? And then he asked, where is the customer? Where should I visit? In that case, there's no way. They didn't know how to make appointment, how to visit there, and they didn't know how to make questions to the customers, and they didn't know what sort of hypothesis they should create. So they changed their challenges year by year, and now they made up a scenario by categorizing person's roles, person A, B, C. A should be a research person, B should be a person asking questions, and the customers should be also the group categorized as the typical things. And this is not really a way. OKI is very big. There are many branch offices. And even though you speak louder, physically, your message cannot be echoed and cascaded. So full participation means all these people needs to be there.
And the top management is continuing to say these things. Thank you. Well, let's go to the next topic about scaling up. I think this is related to increasing clarity, because if you increase clarity, then there's a high likelihood that you'll be able to increase the scale. So, and the sales personnel and partners are very important. SoftBank is leading in this area. So, and you are in charge of the corporate sales. So, can you talk about how to find partners, how to do sales? I think you can spend an hour just talking about this topic, but Kasai-san, trying to be as succinct as possible. Yes. Yes, about sales capability. Yeah. Well, I think that we have a very strong sales force, and even if all others die out, they will survive. But they are very sensitive towards the appraisal, and so they really appreciate people's appraisal. Now, startups, these new businesses, as we call them, it's not going to generate profit from the very beginning. And just before you get a contract from your customer, it's not contributing to the appraisal of that individual in the company. So what do we do is the big question here. And well, it's not something that you should do top down. Each and every individual, each salesperson has to be committed. And no matter what the top management says, yes, no matter what the boss says, they would say, this is not going to generate profit. So, so if it reaches a certain growth level, and if you see that you would be appraised as a salesperson, until that you reach that point, this strong sales force is not used in many cases. So they're not mobilized. But if you do this, then the voice of the sales force is very strong, and they have a lot of needs, requirements. And if we try to listen to every single piece of request, you really get lost. What are we doing here? So, no, we have to try to not rely on this force of the salespeople in the very beginning and do it on our own. And as for partners, yes. Well, we are not a group of geniuses, and we are doing telecom. And so we have these various contracts, and we have to have license, permits. So, yes, the contracts, people can't write contracts in many cases because everything is on a template, unregulated. But telecom is a single business model, and it has been generating profit. It has such a track record. And as a way of thinking, we have to think how much we can generate profit, how much we can capture the customer market share. But it's difficult to partner with other companies if we have sort of mentality. Instead, we have to think about win-win, or maybe win-win-win. So mutual benefit. And this is how we have been doing partnering. I'm sorry for a long story, but so we have telecom, which is supporting us, and in telecom, if we are lacking service, then you can use competitive service. We are very candid about this. For the business, we have to think about the customer. What is of value to the customer? What is best for the customer? And for that, we do not choose any method, but we can rely on partners too. Well, in the world, co-creation is a term that we often hear. And I think co-creation is important. OKI alone, in the past, could do everything. So we could produce whatever we were asked to produce. But nowadays, we cannot do it as a standalone. But instead, we have to have co-creation and work with partners. This is something that I truly feel is needed. Now, about promotion. Well, yes, new businesses require promotion, and Moriya-san is always talking about this. And I talking to the outside world quite often, and Moriya-san is telling me to talk more. But the importance of promotion. Well, yes, in doing new businesses, I'm sure you recognize the importance of promotion. But can you talk to us about it? Well, this promotion, the term promotion, what does it mean? I think each and every individual has a different definition. So let me try to add some explanation here. When you come up with a new business, the first promotion that you need to do is not a TV commercial, because that new business, you really don't know whether it will resonate with the customer, it will be appreciated. So instead, even if you come up with hypothesis, your hypotheses are bound to be wrong. So I say teach your customer. And well, in the beginning, it's your customer, but not your customer. Think of a person as a customer with whom you will try to test whether the new product or new business has value. And in order to meet such people, you have to do promotion, to promote your new business, to find a partner. That's the first promotion that you do. And then, well, this is an exaggeration, but once you see that there is the aptitude to win, then you should be continuing to promote and communicate and talk about your new business, because it's not just say, please buy this. No, I say your reference user, but you say, oh, if that company is using it, then I might as well do it. So you have to come up with such examples of saying that we have such and such a customer. So I think there are two phases to promotion. Thank you. Yes, and depending on the stage, there are different ways of promoting. Okay. And about the redefinition of challenges or issues, well, we heard from an innovation expert, and when it comes to new businesses, it's different from the existing, and you have to do trial and error, and therefore you have to show it to new customers, and you have to redefine the challenges or issues. And if you want to do it horizontally, it's not easy. You have to go back to the basics time to time, doing this trial and error, and so redefinition of the issue is something I would like to ask Moriya-san to talk about once again. Yes. Well, when we say new business, quote unquote, it's something. It must have something new. If not, it will simply not be called new business. So at least you should redefine the issue. And without redefining the issue, what is a new business all about? So yes, I think that this should come to you naturally. Kasai-san, which is it the same with you? Well, well, redefining the issue. Well, the issue itself, well, what we're doing in our case, well, depending on the age, gender, and the origin of the person, there are different issues. So, of course, it's important to redefine the issue, but the method is also important. And you have to be open and flat. It's only after you have these that the organization has to be flat and open. It's only after you have such an organization you can redefine the issue, and because you have a rather good definition, you come up with a hit product or service. Okay, I think you were thinking about the next topic. So you talked about organization. Let's go to the next topic. Well, in order to enable a new business, you have to have the right organizational structure. And when I talk with people from other companies, they talk about what kind of new organization is fit for coming up with new businesses. Well, OKI did a trial and error. We were thinking that, as I talked in the first half of my lecture, yes, I'm creating the concept, that part. In doing that trial and error, we have a cost center, and we have a clarity as to what needs to be done, and we have 1 or 2 users, and we start to sell, and then we send it to the business unit and get them to do the work, and so scale up. That is, the skills are different, the skill sets are different, so we had that sort of process. But this new business team, they have
they don't inherit from the existing. There's a user, and unless you are confident that you can generate a large amount of profit, you cannot hand it over to the business unit. And therefore, instead, we thought you should have an innovation team which does not think too much about PL. And so we have this one flow instead of having this two-stage process. So that's what we're doing at OKI. Yes, we have at SoftBank, you have the DX transformation, digital transformation division. So can you talk about your organization?
Well, first of all, as a prerequisite, decision maker needs to show the interest. Otherwise, the subordinate of that boss would be dying, and therefore, top message should be very clear and strong, and also approval process people should be all involved and should have the good insights, or they are ready to learn new things. Such motivation is very important as a prerequisite. And then it's an end-to-end process from the business planning and then approval process and then actual development, service launch, and then business operation. And then it's cascaded to the subsidies and so on. And then subsidiaries, management should be from that innovation team. And such decision makers have to be interested and approve this move as a prerequisite. I see. When I talked about you, talked with me, you said the new business is very important. However, as you mentioned, of course, motivated people are necessary, but also those people, the mentality and the mindset and attitude are important from the top to the actual practitioners. There should be a very strong physical strength and good knowledge and intelligence and strong against stress. You seem to be very... Yes, resistance to stress is good. I catch cold, so actually I'm not that healthy, but I have a resistance against stress. Okay, you are involved in DX business in your company and you are the leader. And leader needs to be strong against stress. And personally myself, President Mori always tells me that why I assigned you to the head of the innovation in OKI is because I seem to be a person the strongest or resistant to the stress in OKI organization. That's what President Mori mentioned. So mentally strong, mental strength was the criteria Mr. Mori assigned me. How about you? Well, that's true because stress is always there. New business, 90% or 80%, things go wrong. So if the failure rate is 90%, you gives in. However, you cannot. So you have to say 10% success rate could be leading us to success. That is the sort of a thing you have to say as a mantra. Okay, thank you. Please refer to all these important words because all of you are management. And so assign somebody who has a strong mental resistance against stress should be your leaders. 500 or 500 and plus ideas, and now we have only 20 ideas remaining, so others have been all discarded. So the actual ideas we adopted was very small percentage. Yes, that is important. And there's a resistance. People are so comfortable in their comfort zone in a conventional world. So when you think about a new business, it's very difficult. So people in the innovation team should have a big motivation. Okay, if the success percentage is 10 or 20% out of 500, what should we do? Well, in Japan, 1,600, 1,500 companies are invested by venture capitals. And there's a sort of a consolidated guarantor of the debt. But 20 years and 30 years, well, actually, selection of the startups by all these experienced venture capitals, well, only 1 out of 20, 200,000 are the ones who could produce the actual deliver results. So, on average, this is the global average, so you cannot expect that your company can come up with a higher percentage of success ratio out of all these new businesses. So when I sleep one night, then I just forget all the bad things of the previous day. Yes, that kind of person is very important. So during the very day, you are very much suffered and you are discouraged. But next day, I forget everything. And about the structure of the people in the organization, there should be 2 types of people. That means the new business professional and the professional of the targeted market or the industry. Toyota is the biggest company in the industry. And when you talk about vehicle, there should be a innovation team should have some specialists on cars, automobiles. If you don't have such person, Toyota cannot go for the innovation. Therefore, in order to make us new business, of course, they are professional to build up the new business within the current business. So new business professional and the new domain professional you think are different, but you have to have the targeted market first to see what sort of professional you need within your innovation team. And of course, so 2 types of professionals are important. And sometimes you are not serious because you are not paying your pocket money, but company is paying the money. So if the center of that company should be the professional of that conventional industry's know-how. However, also the people should be gathered from other industries or other targeted markets, and you will do it if the return is personally for your pocket. Yes, engineers and business people, 50-50. We started 120. Now it's 430 members. And 55 members still remain from the first 120. And the remaining 100, so 50 are the conventional member, plus new 100 members, were from varieties of functions. Other companies, Yahoo, PayPay, and Line, and we are in a corporate business, so consumer companies offering the service to the end users. So varieties of organizations are giving us the people. So these are the mid-career employment, and they are now our family. Thank you. Well, we've discussed a lot, and time is very limited, unfortunately. So I would like to summarize here. If after 6 months, things would be different. So 2 of them are very busy people, but I would like to set up this kind of session so that we can share information with you again. Is it all right? Oh, thank you very much for your applause. So this is it's not a one-time session. There will be a next one as well. And I talked about IMS-based co-creation platform I talked about. And as Kasai-san mentioned, you know that co-creation platform, shared platform should be created, I believe, and OKI tries to do that. So the government and the academia and the industry all together should come up with this platform, meaning we should share the same language and the words. And then we can, all the people who are interested can come on top of this platform to go together for co-creation. So once this platform is ready, we are welcome all of you to join us. Thank you very much, Kasai-san. Thank you very much, Moriya-san. And thank you very much to all the audience. Thank you so much.
And thank you for the very precious talk, Mr. Kasai, Mr. Moriya, and Mr. Fujiwara. Thank you very much. Please join me in thanking the three. Thank you very much.